Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about a cosplay project that I started way back in September. I don't know why it's taken me so long to finish this, but I have. I put a lot of work into it, a lot of effort. I think it's turned out pretty well. And you may have gotten the hint from the title of the video, from the shirt that I'm wearing, which by the way, can we appreciate that real quick? They're so cute. Look at my beans. But the project that I have been working on for months and months and that I'm finally revealing to all you guys is Fullmetal Alchemist Automail arm, which I made. You can see it's Ed Elric's Automail arm, because this whole video is about my cosplay of him. I'm cosplaying him, Edward Elric. I made this project way back in September, and it's been quite a lot of work. This isn't something you can whip out and just do in one night, but I think it's turned out pretty well. It's different than what I thought it would be, a little bit. I expected. This looks actually really nice. It's turned out pretty well. It's a bit stiff. I can't move the arm fullest extent of my arm mobility. So I can't make a fist, not really. And the elbow and the arm can only bend so much. I can't even bend my wrist really that much. Whoops! Some of the glove was peeking out, but I can't bend that completely. So it's a bit awkward, but I've never made one of these cosplay, metal cosplay arms, so this was my first time, okay? Just deal with it. So, but for my first time making it, it's actually turned out really well. So I'll tell you some of the steps I did along the way. This isn't a tutorial, I'm just, saying the general gist of what I did. So first what I did is I got these big foam sheets, from on Amazon. I got gray sheets, and I just cut them out, and I just measured them sort of on my arm and see how they would fit and how they would work. Cut those out. I was thinking either of sewing or gluing the pieces together, but then I decided just to do sewing because glue can often come off even with something porous like foam. So I just decided sewing would be better, it'd be good and strong, and it is pretty strong, especially for my hand. I could not have made this with only glue. Unless I had I don't know, maybe hot glue, but even then I feel safer when I use sewing, and I sew a lot. I sew so much I'm kind of calling myself the sewing alchemist. So I was just like, why not? And it's pretty strong and it's good. And I sort of just curved it as I was sewing, curved it to fit my hand. With some metal armor, I was looking online, you can use an iron and put the foam next to that and sort of shape it around what you want, like if you were making something really specific, you had to be properly shaped. What I have here doesn't really need to be like that, it's just sort of, I kind of shaped it a bit, kind of curved it, but not really that needed any heat, so, but yeah. And then once everything was sewn, which literally took me a month, I finished this, the sewing in late October, but then I just decided to leave this, and I didn't do anything with my metal arm. I did other stuff with my cosplay between October and now, but I didn't do anything with the metal arm until last week. I don't know, I was just procrastinating. But then I also couldn't find my glue thing that I had. I had a whole big gallon of glue that I was going to use for this, and I couldn't find it until last week when I finally organized the storage room. So a little life tip, do your chores, and then maybe you'll find the useful things that you need, especially for cosplays. But yeah, I finally got around to gluing this, and so the next step would be to put glue on this. And you just use a paintbrush, you glue it sides, and you have to do this 7 or 8 times. And you might think, oh, why do you need to do that? But it's because the foam is very porous, it's very, absorbing liquids and stuff. Whereas when you want this to have a metal appearance, a bit more harder, a bit more, smoother rather than just soft. And it also helps, I think, with the paint. I think it helps the paint stick on better when you do that, rather if you just put paint on the foam, I think it would look too spongy. But when you put the glue, you have a good base for the paint, it makes it stronger, it makes it look more metal-y. So yeah. And also, when I was first putting the glue on, it's weird because at first they were starting to crack if I would even bend it a little bit, but after several coats of glue, 7 or 8 that I put, and then I put some coats of paint, it's starting now to just bend. This just bends. It hasn't broken. Yet. Yet is the affirmative. But even here, I was trying to reach this, so this armor was bending, but it hasn't broken yet, which is really interesting. It's the more glue and paint you add, the more flexible it becomes. I mean, there's probably a point where if you add too much, it will be too rigid, so 2 glue paints, I think at most per day, so I would do 1 in the morning, 1 at night. I think that's probably a good length, because glue especially takes a long while to dry, so I would say at most 2 coats a day. And then when that glue was finally done, I put the paint, and I put the fun part. Although the glue is also fun to put on. I think brushing on like glue or paint is quite relaxing. And this whole project has been so fun. But anyways, you just put the paint. I put like about 2 coats of this silvery chrome paint on my fingers, and I put 3 on the hand and on this arm and on this arm. I don't know what forearm is. This is my ulnar radius arm, and then this is the one with the humerus, whatever, because that's what I know. This is the paint that I use, the silver paint. It's dazzling metallic, metallic acrylic paint in shimmering silver by Deco Art. I also got it on Amazon. I can put this down in the description if you want. Any good like chrome or silver, or even like gray paint would work. I think probably because I have a next step, which is putting black paint on, it'd be good to have shiny, shimmery like silver paint rather than just plain gray. And then the final step in this, I put dashes of, so not like a full coat. You put a little bit of paint on the brush, you wipe off most of it, and then you just sort of brush it on, little faint touches onto the finish, onto the silver finish. So that creates this more 3D sort of weathered look, and you can see that here. And I mean you can use any black paint. This is literally the most basic. I just use this black paint thing that I have. I got from Michael's a couple months ago. And so you just have this weathered look. And also you can use, for one last coat, a little bit of silver, using the same method with the black, and just quietly, carefully brushing that on top of the black, so that to create more 3D. And also if you think you added too much black, you can make it just a bit more silvery, because you don't want to make this isn't supposed to be like a big black dark thing. It's supposed to be silver, but I wanted, also the directions that I found online were like to use a little bit of color of a different one, just to make a little bit more 3D, a bit more texture. But I still want to be able to see silver, like at least most of the base silver color, so you can add some on top. Also, I just forgot to mention, but also I put here on the hand these rivets. You can cut those out, and you can just cut out and you put I just looked at how the anime drew Edward's arm, and I just sort of based that off, so I have all the little details here. You can add those rivets. There should be some more rivets along here, but I forgot about it till the end, and also got lazy, and I just kind of like that. That looks good enough on its own. I get too lazy to add all the little details. Like, who needs so many details? No one needs that many details, honestly. So here's the finished product that I have for my cosplay. Here I have the wig, which I braided, and I have the front bangs. These are terrible. I'm sorry for this. This is the worst. This is supposed to be Edward's front hair bang side things, but they look terrible. They're too short. I'm sorry. I don't know how to use wigs, so this is what it's just turned out to be, but I don't know. It looked like literally terrible yesterday, but I managed to kind of make it presentable today. And the most important part of the hair, not just the braid, but Edward's little sprig. Luckily, I got it to actually kind of stay up, but now it's kind of floppy. It doesn't want to stay up, but at least I got a little Edward hair sprig for the wig. That's not too bad, hopefully. And then here's the rest of the outfit. So of course here is the main attraction, my arm, the metal arm that I made, well the faux metal arm. And yeah, I mean it's pretty good. It's kind of hard to move a little bit. I can't make a fist. My fingers will only go like maybe that far before I would actually break the arm. But it seems pretty good. And then there's the arm. And then there's up here. And I'm not going to show you the inside of my arm because that's where all the Velcro is and it looks terrible. But that's quite cool, isn't it? I'm really proud of it. When I first made this, I was really like unsure. Because when I make an idea for a project, I have 3 stages I go through. One is when I get the idea, I'm like, oh, this will look amazing. It's going to be so fantastic. Stage 2 is when I actually start making it. And then I'm like, oh no, oh heck, this looks terrible. Why am I doing this? This looks like absolute trash. And once I finally get through the end, or like it's starting to look like the finished product, and then I'm like, this kind of looks pretty good. This actually looks not too bad, and it's looking really great. And that's where I'm at right now, and this is actually so cool. It's maybe kind of better than I imagined. I just wish that maybe it was easier to like move it around and stuff. It's a bit stiff, but it's not really falling apart, so that's pretty good. Yeah. And this was a really fun project for me to work on, so I'm really proud of it. And also not as talked about is my coat. It's really light. I actually used a robe, like a wise man robe from Amazon costume, and I just cut that up and make it into this robe. And it didn't have a hood. I made it myself. Just made the hood. Whoop. And most importantly, the Fullmetal Alchemist alchemy sign on the back. It took me a while to sew that. It took so long. It was so much. I was like dead after sewing that and trying to make sure it was exactly right. It's probably a bit kind of okay, but pretty cool. I think it turned out pretty well. This whole cosplay, I think, has turned out quite well, except for the front hair. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, but otherwise, this is actually not too bad. Especially, this is my first ever anime cosplay, and I don't even know what the hell you're supposed to do with something like that, so not too bad. Yeah. So that's the craft project that I was working on for like since September, the cosplay project. And I've been really thrilled to share it with you guys. It's been such a long time coming, and I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Speaking of that, now that the video's done, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like below. Leave some comments or questions that you have, maybe about the cosplay or about other cosplays I might do in the future, and I'll try to answer them down in the comments below. Make sure to check out my last video, which will be somewhere around my head or on the next screen, on the end screen. Check out my last video there. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And I hope you all have a great day. Stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.